Guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I want to jump in on all the fun. I've seen several people now creating some quilted cards that I think it's Maymay made it was showing. Um, and I wanted to do one. Not as fancy as theirs, but I wanted to try one and I figured why not do it with you guys. So I'm going to just do like the square ones because I remember when I was small, I saw one and it was just little squares that they put on a fabric. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and I'm gonna use like the cheapest things that I have, which is this Dollar Tree stencil, and they have these 9 designs. I'm not gonna use all the designs, but I figured this will work for this little project. And then afterwards, I'm gonna emboss it. After I do my stitching though. Before that, I'm going to do my stitching. And I have this BoBunny stitcher stamp set. Now, I tried to search to see if they still had this one in stock. I couldn't find it, but Amazon did have some stitching stamps that has some that even look like the strings were coming apart. I thought that was totally cool, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. Now, I remember one time I used the set, and this gave me a hard time. So I'm just going to use the wonky one this time and see how that works out for me. And let's put this to the side so we don't get glare. And then we're going to start by stamping these guys. Now, the card is a 5 by 5 square. This is cut 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. This is square. And then each one of these little squares, they're 1.5 inches. Now, I figured I'll just glue them down, and if I have to trim anything, I will. But before we even get to that, we are going to use the stencil. I'm glad I had bought that diamond press set, because now I'm like, oh wait, I still have some stencils I could try. And here we are. Okay, I think I'm going to use this one for one, and this doesn't have to look perfect, and maybe I'll use those diamond press inks just because they're close and easy. Hold on, let me get them. I'll be right back. Okay, and since there's 9 of these, I guess I'm just going to do 3 of each kind. Now you can mix it up if you want, but that's just how I'm going to do it. Ooh, or do I want to try this one? Maybe I'll do that one. Okay. Well, orange is on there, so let's start with orange. I'm not going to tape it or anything. Oh, my nail's coming apart. My nail polish. Wash too many dishes. It is always pulling apart. I do gel nails. Okay. Oh, that's cute. All right, so that's one. Just carefully put it. I don't care if it's in different sections, because it, when you get those little squares from any of the craft stores to do your quilts, they're not perfect, right? We should have put a paper underneath there, but I'll just wipe everything down when I'm done. Okay, that's 3, and I don't know if we should like age it afterwards. Maybe. All right, orange is done. Let's do blue, and maybe this pattern. I don't know, that kind of looks like a snowflake. Let's do that one. I want it nice and bright. That's cute. Okay, one more, and then we'll move to our last color. Now we could have done this in all of the patterns since this is 9, but let's just keep it with just 3 designs and 3 colors. All right, and the last one is pink. Let's see. Maybe that design. Put that aside. I don't mind getting my fingers all inked up. Besides, I have to do my polish over. All right. Two more. I think I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3. I need these guys doubled. Oh, here it goes. Okay. All right, last one. So those are my little pieces there, stenciled with a Dollar Tree stencil. So I paid, well, at the time it was $1. Now it's $1.25. But I still saw that they had those in stock, so that's a good thing. And still, $1.25 for a stencil is not bad. All right. Let me clean my fingers so that we can move on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue these things there, but I'm going to let this dry up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think that the hardest part for me is just finding a design that I like. What's more pleasing to my eye. But I guess just putting them wherever, right? And it's just like alternating the design. Now some of these aren't perfect, and I didn't mind that because, to be honest, if I was making a quilt, it is not going to be perfect. It's going to be all over the place. Okay, let's do pink here. And blue here. And then maybe we can do blue here, orange there. Nope, I gotta do it. So there's always going to be one that looks like you're playing tic-tac-toe. That's okay though. All right, so that's going to be our pattern. And let's start gluing that down. I'm going to do the stitching afterwards, which is why I chose a black cardstock. So if it does get in there, it doesn't matter. And again, I think this matches me because if I was to do a quilt, that's probably how my stitching would look. just glue these guys down. Start on the corner. And just follow it down. There may be some left over, but we could, like I said, we could trim that after we're done. And maybe after it dries. Even though by the time I stick all these down, most of them should have already tacked on pretty good. Now my BoBunny stamp is an acrylic stamp. So I know that the last time I used the other one, I don't know, there was always a spot that squished down more than the other. Okay. So yeah, you see I'll have to trim this down to kind of match here. That's fine. But I'll finish gluing these up and then we'll be right back to do our stitching. Okay, so I let that set up for just a little bit and I put my stamp in place and I just put it in a very neutral area that I can just move the card around. So I don't have to keep taking the stamp on and off. And let's see if we could get this a little more straight here. All right. And then we're just gonna stamp. It's supposed to look like you just put this quilt together, so to me it doesn't make a difference if it looks perfect. All right, let's just go for it. Let's see. That's where I want it. And I'm gonna go for it. See, this thing squishes too much, but it's okay. It's not that bad. I would have liked for it to have been a little more this way, but it's all right. Let's see. Let's move that just a little bit. Yeah, I think there's fine. And let's just stamp it. Doo-doo. Cute. Because of course you would stamp all the little squares, right? I mean, you would sew all of them down. So you just gotta continue to go with the design. And just about there. I don't care if it goes a little bit into the black because honestly, again, if I was sewing it, it probably would. Okay. And then we could turn it over and see where that is. Maybe there. And now we could do these sections. All right, I'm just going to continue to do that and I'll be back. Now, this is what I have. I switched to a different stitch to make it look like it's when you're embroidering, I guess. And this looks like a hot mess. But you know something? I'm going to keep it because if I was making a quilt, this is exactly what it would look like. In hindsight, this stitch, the single stitch would have been better. And maybe the zigzag. But you know what? I'm just going to go with it. Why not? It's just a card. It's fun. I can always make this a funny one and make the sentiment inside. Just make it on the computer and just find something with my lousy stitching or something. I think it's cute. All right, I gotta get an embossing folder. Let's see. I think I have one in here. And we're gonna make this pretty. I don't think so. Whatever. All right. So I'm gonna use the Darice embossing folder, and let me feel. Okay, I want it this way. And I'm just doing this because, you know, when they used to do the quilts before. After they washed them a few times, it just, you know, the texture was different. It took the design, the texture took the design of whatever they sewed on top. And looking at my stamping here, I'm not going to try to mimic that with a stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and just emboss it in. That's funny. I know these techniques have been around forever, but it's kind of fun to go back to these things. And I was never like a big fan of the quilting, but it's cute. Why not? Let's just try it. Oh, you see, it looks better. So now it has texture, and my horrible stamping doesn't look as horrible. It'll still work. So this is how it's gonna look. Now I'm gonna go and find a die that I can cut out and use on top. I think it's gonna be big enough to cover most of it, but you just gotta go with it and use your own colors. Use whatever stamps that you have that'll work better. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend the wonky die, the wonky stamp. You could see that it ended up looking very wonky. But that's what this is for, right? You know, we make it and we learn from it. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit just to make it match this, because that's a big pet peeve of mine. And I'll find that die and I'll be back. Okay, just to show you what I found. I found a hello die. I'm going to cut this out like 3 times and glue them together. And then I'm going to put glossy accents on it. I'm going to do that off camera just so it has time to dry. And then I found these little brads that look like buttons. And I think I'm going to attach those to the edges. They're cute. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this part and we'll figure out the little brads. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to poke holes here to put my little buttons. And again, the purpose of doing this card and even keeping it with some obvious mistakes, because this looks like I went stamp happy, is because I just want to show that even if you make mistakes, you can continue with it. And you should never let any of those mistakes stop you from trying to make a card. Or if you do make a mistake, just make the best of it. Make it a part of your card, part of your design. So we're gonna put these little buttons here. And honestly, I'm just putting things on it so it'll take away from my stamping. So just little things that'll make it look a little more cute. Let me get my hole puncher. Let's just get this in place. So we're just going to make a little hole here. Please hold. Okay, I was on the fence on finishing this card, but here I am. I am going to finish it. I put a lot of work into it already, and I want to complete it. In hindsight, again, I would have not used the wonky die, stitch die, stamps. I would have used a single stitch. I think it took too much. And actually, while I was away from the camera, because as you can see, my nails changed and everything, it's actually the next day. I went ahead and did another sample, and this is the other one with the single stitch and the zigzag, which I think look much cuter. But I'm gonna finish this one. You can always make these into a package and make like 4 or 5 of them and give them away as a gift. And really, guys, I know like a lot of times we're more harsh on our work than anyone else. It's still a pretty card. Again, I would just not use that stitch again. So we're gonna glue our hello down and maybe put it a little more up. And that, even that just takes away a little bit from the stamp. But it's looking cuter already. And now we're gonna glue this panel down. I don't just want to show the things, oh, everything is great, this one came out beautiful. What do you do when it doesn't come out the way you expect it? You could still use it. Now, how do we want this to? I think we're going to open this way. And let's lay that on our card. Looking cuter, right? You can add ribbon. Would I add the ribbon? Let me get my ribbon. Let me see. Even though the ribbons, oh, by the way, I got these at Michael's for 50% off. That was a good deal. Anyway, the ribbons are cute, but I would have glued it underneath and made it look like a fringe. But I think in this case, I think it's a bit much because there's a lot going on here. But if it was like a more of a solid color, like maybe just all pink or maybe all orange, you could definitely add different things to it, some fibers and stuff to just add a little more texture, right? When you add fibers, it's about the texture. See, it's just, even a bow will be too much. I think the card looks cute like that. I mean, with the right sentiment inside, it'll be fine. I would find like the typewriter print stamp and just get a friend out and then put hello friend or hello sister or something like that. And that's it. That's my card. Just gotta make the best of our little imperfections, but that's also what makes it handmade, right? You could put a flower here. Let's see how a flower will look. Now these are too big, but let's just, you know, a smaller flower will look cute. Let's see, I don't have any small flowers. Yeah, maybe a little flower, a wild flower or something would look cute, but it still looks good. So that's this card. This is what it looks like with the single stitch, and this is what it would look like with the zigzag. So you can make them look like a quilt, absolutely. And you can add a different kind of sentiment if you want, maybe a happy birthday or happy Mother's Day. Any one of those things would look cute. Let's just put that there for an example. But yeah, I like it better with the single stitch, most definitely. The zigzag is cute, but it might be a little too much also. Maybe just for the edges I would do zigzag, but definitely the single stitch works best. You can also use, if you have the dies that put in the stitching, you can use that. And you can always ink the edges, and that will highlight those dies a little more. So there's a lot of things you could do with this. It's a cute idea. You can cut these up and make different designs. I just wanted to keep it simple for those who are just starting, and those who are more experienced and have done these before and haven't done it in a while. Maybe this will inspire you to start again. Still a cute card, even though I'm not crazy about the wonky stuff. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I'm actually going to start filming my other video because this one stopped me in my tracks. I was just like, I wasn't feeling that stitch too much, but now seeing it all complete, it doesn't bother me as much. So that's why you should always try to complete it, because you might be surprised at the end. Have a good one, guys. I'll talk to you soon.